Sin is a creature preferring a finite good over God as its final end.
Was that a question?
That's the third statement that I'm making, saying that that's what sin is.
What's the third statement?
Sin is a creature preferring a finite good over God as its final end.
Instead of telling you that you don't have sense, a Nigerian will say, wisdom is chasing you, but you are running.
Now, if you're like me, you know that's not what sin is. But I took the liberties of going to handy, but not trustworthy AI and asking this question. Who said that quote? Here is what AI said.
That exact wording isn't a direct quote from Thomas Aquinas himself. It's a modern Thomistic summary of Aquinas' idea of sin as aversion from God and conversion to a created finite good. Language found throughout the Summa Theologiae, especially 2-2, questions on sin and morality. The specific phrasing, open quote, a creature preferring a finite good over God as its final end, close quote, is most commonly associated with Edward Fesser, a contemporary Thomistic philosopher who often compresses Aquinas' teaching into that kind of formulation in his books and essays.
Well, now we gotta find out who Thomas Aquinas is and who this Fesser guy is. So let's go see. You see, these Edomites are philosophers. What does the Bible say about philosophy?
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
No, if you choose anything, all it says is that
Instead of telling you that you don't have a point, a Nigerian will say, ocean of words, desert of points.
You see the issue with Christianity? What do you mean it says? You're reading off of a script when you should be going to the word of Yah to see what sin is according to the Bible.
sin is a creature preferring a finite good over God, right?
Okay, sin is to disobey God's law.
Yeah, that's when you don't choose God.
So let's just leave it there. Sin is to disobey what God obligates you to do.
When you disobey, you're choosing something other than God.
Well,
That's what disobedience is.
whatever disobeying entails, let's just leave it at disobeying God.
Now, how is it that the Muslim can make a very, very straightforward statement that sin is the breaking of God's law? Let's go see where this Muslim's getting this from.
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Okay, that is what sin is. Transgression of the law. Period. This is why us Negroes should not be in Christianity. They are biblically illiterate.
These guys are so biblically and historically illiterate.
On to the next reason why you should not be a Christian.
You'll see from the exchange, one verse they could not handle, right? We were talking about who can be saved. And I kept going to Revelation 5:9 to say where it says every tongue, tribe, nation, right? Every nation, every tribe, every tongue. And they just wanted to focus on, they just wanted to focus on the singular, where clearly Revelation 5:9 is talking about in heaven, all people groups that God has saved, Jew, Gentile, are represented there, and they could not handle this verse.
It's very funny. You have these Christians who will tell you one verse proves Hebrew Israelite doctrine wrong. However, we're going to go to Paul and the Messiah to see what establishes truth. And then we're going to deal with Revelation 5:9, because as many Christians do, they take verses out of its context.
This is the third time I'm coming to you. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established.
So to establish something as true, a doctrine, a word as true, you need multiple witnesses. You need multiple witnesses. One verse does not prove Hebrew Israelites wrong about salvation. Now we're going to deal with Revelation 5:9.
When he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and hast made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth.
So the reason why we started in verse 8 of Revelation 5 is because that gives us the context for verse 9. The saints are the ones singing a new song. It is the saints that are talking about being redeemed by the blood of the Messiah out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation. So now the question is, who are the saints? And we've dealt with this before, but we're going to deal with it again because the Christians don't have an answer for these verses.
Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel. And I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings, to have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he-goats out of thy folds. Offer unto God thanksgiving, and pay thy vows unto the Most High. And call upon me in the day of trouble. I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me.
So the saints are Israel, and they're the ones getting saved. Let's get a second witness on who the saints are.
He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord.
So the saints are the children of Israel, and they are the ones that is being spoken about in Revelation 5:9. Now on to the next reason why you should not be a Christian.
Lying lips are abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
If you couldn't tell, we're going to be dealing with Christianity and its lies. And you're going to ask, what does Christianity lie about? They lie about history, the history of the Bible. They lie through their imaging. How Christianity depicts biblical history and just history in general is a lie. And here's the example.
Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh, and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water, and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them, and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel their father, he said, How is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock.
Now, the Midianite daughters of the priest Reuel called Moses, who is an Israelite, an Egyptian. So, What did Egyptians look like? I'm going to show you some screenshots from the movie The Ten Commandments. The movie that came out in 1956. Look how Christianity lies. Now, in this scene is Moses and Ramses, supposedly. And they're building up the city of Sethi or Sethi's glory. This is from the movie The Ten Commandments in 1956. You see all these white men. Now we're going to show you the wall. That is a black pharaoh and black men on that wall. I made sure to zoom in. You can tell that is a black pharaoh. So the Egyptian kings, pharaohs, were melanated. We have a tomb of pharaohs reopened. Guess what the skin color of this pharaoh was?
And Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land now are many, and ye make them rest from their burdens. And Pharaoh commanded the same day the taskmasters of the people and their officers, saying, Ye shall no more give the people straw to make brick, as heretofore. Let them go and gather straw for themselves. And the tale of the bricks which they did make heretofore ye shall lay upon them. Ye shall not diminish aught thereof. For they be idle, therefore they cry, saying, Let us go and sacrifice to our God.
Here in 1956, the Ten Commandments, the Hebrew slaves in Egypt, and look, they're doing brick building. Brick building. Why don't they have them depicted the way they're supposed to be depicted? Because they're liars. Here is the fourth reason why a Negro should not be a Christian in 2026.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
So what are the ways of the oppressor? Let's find out. So the white man, through the Christian, Catholic, church, religious ideology, enslaved our people. And Yah, through the wonderful man Solomon, said, Do not envy the oppressor and follow none of his ways. The white man used white Jesus and Christianity and Catholicism to enslave your ancestors. We are not to follow their ways. This is the fifth and final reason why you should not be a Christian as a Negro in 2026.
Satan is not against good morals. He is opposed to Jesus Christ. A man can have good morals his entire life, yet you and I know he will go to hell when he dies.
We're going to go to the Bible and see how true that is.
Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
I guess the devil didn't get the memo that he's supposed to tell the Messiah to keep the commandments, not to break them. But what commandment was the devil telling the Messiah to break? Let's find out.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
See, then the white man said, having good morals will not lead you to heaven. It will lead you to hell. And by good morals, he's talking about the commandments. So let's see if that is true.
My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Solomon said if you keep the law, it's going to give you length of days, long life, and peace.
But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
The Messiah said, live by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah or Elohim.
And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do, that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Lastly, the Messiah told a fellow Jew, keep the commandments, and it will give you eternal life. And these are just five small reasons why the Negro should not be a Christian in 2026. We hope and pray that this lesson was edifying and educational. Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel. Peace and blessings.
The Lord bless thee, and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace.